97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hello, this is Michael Spedden, and thanks for joining us today on the 97underground.com Michael Spedden Interviews channel here on YouTube. There have been many requests from both listeners and guests for us to make available our artist interviews so they can listen again or share with others. You can find us on YouTube at 97underground Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Not only do I feature artist interviews, I feature songs you forgot you liked, classics that never die, beloved local, regional, up-and-coming, and underground artists. You can listen anytime, anywhere by downloading our free app from 97underground.com. Just do it. And now, today's episode. Hey folks, welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Tonight we have Night's Edge. I met these guys back in February at one of the Morseberger's events that 97 Underground was broadcasting from, and they're great guys, and they've got some great new material you're going to hear tonight. We're going to take a little trip down memory lane with them. They'll tell us a little bit about the formation of the band, and they've got a lot of shows coming up this summer. All over the Mid-Atlantic region. So you'll be, we're definitely happy to tell you about all that. So stick around, folks. We'll be back right after these words with Night's Edge. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. We're here today with Night's Edge. I met these fellas a few months back at the Metal Mayhems that they have over at Morseberger's that 97 Underground often does live broadcasts from. And I tell you what, folks, there is a lot of great Baltimore music being showcased over there during these Metal Mayhems and the other events that they have there. So get out and check them out because you'll get to see bands like Night's Edge. And today, we have Brian and Dan from Night's Edge joining us. So welcome, fellas. How are we? How's it going?
Doing good. How are you doing, Mike?
Oh, hey, I can't complain, but I don't have as good of news as you because you've got a great single out already and you're getting ready to put another one out from what I understand. So tell us about that, and it looks like you've got a lot of shows. You're full of good news, guys. What can we say? So great to have you tonight,
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. The single that you have, we just put that out last month. Probably maybe not even quite. Has it been a month? Is it the 27th?
It is the 28th.
Yeah, so we put out If You Loved Me at the end of March. So it's been out for just over a month. And that was the first single that we're putting out from our upcoming album, which is coming out in August.
Mm-hmm.
And the second single is coming out in 3 days.
Okay.
On Thursday.
Great.
And that song is called Someone to Stay.
Someone to Stay. So I really like your style. I mean, you did let me hear If You Loved Me. You sent that over to me to kind of preview before we played it. And great song, very melodic. You guys are all great players and everything. How did this come to be? Let's maybe go back to that for a little bit here.
The band itself, like everything from the beginning?
Yep.
Shoot, so we started in 18, I think, 17 or 18.
Been around a while then, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and we've gone through a couple of lineups. Dan's been in the band since 18. You play drums and all the albums. So, and I formed Night's Edge just because I wanted a outlet for original music. I was playing in other bands, playing other people's songs, and I was like, I want to write some original stuff. So started Night's Edge. Dan was in Night's Edge, I think, the first 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple other guys in the band at the time, and we played through a couple years and a couple albums. And those guys ended up stepping down or leaving. And we got Damien about 2 years ago. We've done an album with Damien, our last album, Strangers. And the three of us are about to put out our new album, The World That Never Was, this August. It's going to be our fourth.
Great. There is lots of great music out there, and from what I've heard of you all, this next effort of yours should be no exception, you know, in the we have a great scene here, and I'm always encouraged, seeing people that not only want to use my show as an outlet to showcase their stuff, but the fact that it's going on here anyhow, you know, um, it's really encouraging. It's really it makes me happy to see it going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So you've been doing this since 2018. You've got a couple of other albums that you had mentioned. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So we have 3 albums and an EP out so far.
Mm-hmm.
Quite stacked so far.
Yep.
Yeah, and each one's kind of been a progression. Everything has been, except for one single. We did a cover of Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin back in like 2019.
Oh wow. Okay.
Which it's out there, and it's not a bad cover. So check it out if you want to hear something a little different. But that was produced by an outside producer, but not including that, all of our albums have been self-produced.
Okay.
And a bunch of them have been self-mixed. But in addition to our style and our performances and our development as musicians, our production and our ability at production has improved with each album. So each album has started to sound better and better. And this new one, I think, finally has gotten to a point where it's like, okay, this sounds pretty good. And actually,
right.
Myself, we did a cover of Deftones' "Change the House of Flies" that was mixed by somebody else. So actually, no, that was self-produced too. That was all self-recorded and self-produced.
Yeah.
We have had some outside mixers, but with the exception of the Nights in White Satin cover, everything's been self-produced.
Sure.
And this is self-produced and self-mixed. So very DIY.
Hey, a very DIY, and you're doing it right because it sounds great.
Yeah, no, it's what we were talking like earlier about how we'll have like those like 3 minutes to 3 minute and a half minute songs. But like now, like where we're at now, we're like doing like 7 minute songs, like really like pushing ourselves to like new extremes now.
Yeah, we try and keep it mixed up, have an album that has, at least my favorite albums always have, you have to have your couple of good radio songs that grips you, that gets you going at first. And it's like, driving in the car with the windows down kind of song. And then you need to have a cup that like from there, the album needs to progress in different ways, needs to have ups and downs. And I think having some of those more epic drawn out songs combined with some shorter, more direct songs really helps the ebb and flow of an album.
Sure. It really does. It really does. And every song's important too. Every song's important. I mean, and that's one of the things that we do here. I mean, we kind of recognize on my show, I call it the back of the rack, that of course you have the hits off the albums, but then you have just as many songs as that are like, I call them team player songs. They were never hits, but they contribute to making that album great.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like "We Will Rock You" songs, but we also need those like Bohemian Rhapsody kind of songs too, like thrown in there too.
Yep, absolutely. So why don't we give one of your songs a spin here? Which one would you like to play for us first?
Oh, why don't we go with the new one? Let's go with "Someone to Stay." This one came out. It's coming out Thursday. What is that? May 1st.
May 1st. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, let's give her a spin. Here we go. And this is really great material here. I bet you're really looking forward to the album being completed and just releasing more material. I mean, if there's more where that come from, we're in for something nice, I think.
I think so too. We've been putting the finishing touches on the mixes for the second half of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all pretty excited about how it's going to come out. Uh, I think that anybody who gives it a chance to listen to it will find something to enjoy it. Like if you like hard rock and heavy
Mm-hmm.
metal, I think you'll find something in there that you like because it's eclectic,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's also cohesive. Like it
Mm-hmm.
flows very well.
Right, right, right. So you're a bass player. You're one of my brothers. All right. And so what inspired you? Who inspired you over the years, as a bassist?
Oh shoot.
Still.
Yeah, I was gonna say the thing that really inspired me to play bass was the fact that it was Dan and I was playing guitar at the time, and then we got Damien who plays guitar, and I was like, well, I guess I'm playing bass now. That's what inspired me to play bass.
He's a good team player.
Yeah, I mean, I am like I'm also the singer too, so I like vocalist, bassist.
God, you picked the hardest combination.
I mean, it's all right. It's not too
Yeah.
bad. It can't be any harder than singing and drumming. I would imagine that's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah. That's brutal too. I can imagine. What do you ever tried that, Dan?
Couple times. I mean, I think it doesn't help that I can't sing to begin with at all. So it's kind of like blah 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 as I'm like banging away.
Right, right. Right.
Yeah,
I always personally I always found it easier to play guitar and sing than to play bass and sing, but that's just me. But again, yeah, you do a great job at it, so
thanks. I think that actually to give you an answer to your question, I got a couple of favorite bassists, I guess, in terms of like just enjoying their bass lines and like just pleasant to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, I believe his name was pronounced Chi Chang. He was the bassist for Deftones.
Okay, yeah,
I really like his style of bass playing. I think it's, like you have some bass players that kind of follow the guitar and beef up the whole sound, and that's that's valid for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think kind of what he does is he guides the song in different directions
Mm-hmm.
and kind of changes the context of the guitar chords, which are staying relatively similar, and the vocal patterns, which are, well, Chino does all sorts of weird stuff. But he just kind of like manipulates and changes the song in different ways with his bass lines.
Mm-hmm.
And he could do all sorts of stuff. He could do heavy and intense and also like super smooth and sexy. He was he died a couple years ago. He's deceased, but he was a very good bass player. And then I think in terms of technicality, I know you're not into the super heavy music, but I would I think his name's Sean Beasley, bassist from Dying Fetus. It's a death metal three-piece, and he is really good.
Yeah.
I would also put I think probably all around just like enjoy listening to his bass lines the most. I don't think he's in music anymore, but he was the original bassist for a band called OTEP. His name was Evil J was his stage name, and like not like a super known guy, I don't think, but he's just got some disgusting bass lines.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a lot of great ones out there. A lot, definitely for sure. A lot of great ones out there. How about who's inspired you, Dan?
Yeah, I'd say like going up with what Brown was like saying about Chi. Like I think Abe Cunningham from the Deftones definitely a big inspiration there. I mean, just like the way like he plays along with like the late Chi and Chino, just like an amazing drummer. Also, Joey Dorson, rest in peace. Like one of the guys that definitely really got me into like heavy metal and wanted to play heavy metal thing. And I would say also go back to like the classic players, Mitch Mitchell with Jimi Hendrix. Like,
Sure.
He was just phenomenal jazz rock drummer, just such an inspiration to learn from and listen to.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like that from that era, and there's so much out there. There's so much along the whole spectrum of rock and roll to really listen to. as you know, as a bass player myself, I always loved, Steve Harris and John Entwistle and Geddy Lee. But then again, I always really liked Mike Mills from REM.
Oh hell yeah.
Smithereens dude, I forgot his name. That's the original guy from the earlier albums. I mean, there's so much out there to really, so much out there to draw from, so much out there to listen to and be inspired by. It's really it's a wonderful world,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think really when you're playing at the high level of a nationally / internationally famous rock band, everybody's good. They're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure
none
are.
of those guys don't know how to play. All of them are good.
Yes, they are. They sure are. They sure are. So why don't we give another one of your songs a spin here? You have another one that you sent me. Tell us about that one.
This was the lead single from our album. This is called "If You Loved Me." You want to talk about it a little bit? I talked about the last one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like Brian presented this song like Damien and I about a year ago. We were like, oh, this is definitely going to be one of our singles, one of our hits, because it's just a quick, solid rock track, great catchy chorus, has like kind of like an 80s like synth inspired feel with a lot of like heavy guitar playing as well. I think it's just a song people are really going to enjoy.
Great, great. Well, here it is. Let's give her a listen here. This is If You Loved Me.
Chair from my feet. Please don't leave me. If you love me, you would walk across the water. If you love me, you would stay and watch me suffer. If you love me, you would follow as I fall. If you love me at all. Change your mind, forced to watch a slow decline. Is this guilt or anger? I'm not sure. Oh, our perfection, we're trapped inside. She'll smash this mirror and take our lives, together or die. If you love me, you would walk across the water. If you love me, you would stay and watch me suffer. If you love me, you would follow as I fall. If you love me at all. Difficult to love, but I'm the only one. The best you'll ever get. Don't forget.
Wow, I mean, again, more great material from you guys, and so it looks to me from what you've sent me, you've got quite a few shows coming up too. So you have quite a few audiences are going to be treated to this coming up, huh?
Yep, we're going to be playing all these new ones. We do have a handful of shows coming up, and we're going to be booking more. Our goal is to play out basically as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
We do Baltimore a lot, and we do the regional areas. So, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Delaware, West Virginia, New
Mm-hmm.
York, Jersey, anywhere within a couple hour drive. Our next show, so I'll go through a few dates.
Uh-huh.
So our next show is May 8th, which is a Thursday, and that is at the Depot. We are supporting a touring band from Philly called People Food, and we're doing that show with Modern Fuzz, who are from Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
and Science Penguin, who are from Montgomery County. I want to say Germantown.
Okay,
I think,
yeah, yeah.
I think Germantown's Montgomery County.
It
And
is,
then,
yeah.
yeah, so that's all we have on the books for now for May.
Mm-hmm.
And then June, we also only have one show, and that is June 7th. That's in Winchester at Granny's. It's a cool little bar right on the side of the highway. We've played there a handful of times. We're out there with Wright Live. Brandon Wright's bringing us out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool dude. He's always treated us well. And I believe that we are playing that show with a band called Babies for Brunch. I don't know if that show is formally announced yet, but that's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And then July, we are busy in July.
Looks like it.
Yeah, we got a lot going on in July. July 11th, we're playing up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, at Union Vapes. So I guess we're playing at a vape shop. They got a venue and a vape shop. Like, I'll play anywheres. I don't care.
Love it.
Let's
Love
do it.
it.
It'll probably be cool. And then the next day, we're actually going up to Rochester, New York. We're playing at the Psychic Garden with
Great.
some of our friends in a Rochester band called Goblin Hobble. And we've also got Fourth Dominion and Fox 45 on that show. That's going to be one of the farthest shows we've ever traveled for.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following weekend, that Friday, July 18th, we're back at the Depot in Baltimore with our friends from New Jersey and Carbon Based. And we've also got Baltimore band Earth and Scowl on that. And we have Space Lumberjacks coming up from Southern Maryland on July 18th at the Depot. And then the 19th of July, we're going up to Philadelphia for the first time, playing at a bar called Century with Hate Machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And our friend Dave, that's his band. Dave has had us up play some of his Chaos guitar shows. And I believe the town's called Schnecksville. It's right outside of Allentown. We're playing Philly with Hate Machine on July, I think I said 19th. We have more shows later in the year, but I'll stop there. That's 6. So.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Great. It sounds like you really got a good range. You're covering a good distance here, all over the Mid-Atlantic region.
Yes, that's what we try and do for sure.
Hey, amen to that. Getting the word out, and again, do you find that when you play different places, you go over differently?
Say so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's necessarily always a function of the city that we're playing, or if it's the bands we're playing with. There's so many variables that go into putting on a good show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, it definitely varies.
Mm-hmm.
But what doesn't vary is our show. It's always a fun time. We just come out and bring it no matter who we're playing to, no matter how many people. We're just there to party and have people enjoy themselves.
Yeah, we do the same show every time, either way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that is a phenomena that a lot of people talk about, though. How some songs go over better here than there. Sometimes, and maybe too, it could have a lot to do with what vein your songs are in, or what your songs maybe kind of give a nod to as well, and who you're playing with and what kind of crowd comes and everything. But that was always something that fascinated me, when I was playing.
We do kind of get that to an extent because our songs kind of go a pretty wide dynamic range, where we have some songs that are very poppy and fun,
Yeah.
And some songs that are pretty heavy, like some of our stuff starts to get, it's not like, it's not like death metal heavy, but it's still pretty heavy.
Oh yeah.
So like certain shows, the heavy songs will do really well.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
play the heavy songs and everybody's like, what are you doing? Like play the other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, yeah, and that happens. Like I said, not everybody's going to love everything off of your song list, but I think the majority of it, right?
Yeah. Hopefully they at least remember it for one reason or another.
Yeah. Well, great. So, your website is knightsedgeband.com.
Yep.
And on the website, it looks like, you've got your about, you've got your, your bio, your, schedule for shows coming up. Again, a whole, good list of them here. And then merch. Got, merchandise, a page for merchandise on your page as well. And then, again, you're going to have more music coming out. The music that you have out now, is that available like on Amazon or Apple?
Everywhere.
Okay, yeah, wherever you
Everywhere.
download, wherever you buy music online, you can
Wherever you buy or stream music, it's on there. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, it's on everything.
Okay, great. And your videos as well. So most excellent.
Videos are all on YouTube. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a real pleasure finally getting a chance to speak with you and everything. And
thank you, Mike.
I've enjoyed your material, and I think our audience is going to as well, since we're going to get you in the rotation here. So thank you for joining us. And folks, thank you all for listening. We've had Knight's Edge on the show today, and we'll be back right after these words. You're listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show on 97underground.com. Thanks again, guys. And thanks again for listening to 97 Underground, the Michael Spedden interviews, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. Remember, download the free app from 97underground.com so you can listen to us wherever you go. The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Listen anytime, anywhere.
Metal.
Worldwide Metal 24/7. 97 Underground.